Bob Arum says that Carl Frampton and Oscar Valdez isn't a hard fight to make, and he made the quick fight, and Top Rank is showing that he's branching out and willing to work with other promoters now, and they had no choice because now not messing with HBO, the rosters and the pickings are slim for Top Rank and Bob Arum. So, pretty much they branching out, working with who they can work with, and that's a positive thing. And Golden Boy is doing the same thing. So, that's just more positive vibes for boxing. But we back with the Boxing Clinic and more. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. And I didn't catch the Frampton fight. I was on my way to the Barclays Centers while I was on the subway, going through those tunnels. It's hit and miss with your signal. So I understand he dominated Donier. I heard it was kind of competitive for Donier side or whatever. But when Frampton first fought over here, man, I liked him. I liked his style, even though he got knocked down a few times. But I like what he brought to the table. You can tell he's a real skilled fighter. But I do have a gripe with him for being part of the Rigondeaux Duck crew. Him, Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, and Scott Quigg all ducked Rigondeaux. They moved up in weight to get away from that man. So I'm always gonna feel some type of way against those four. I can't stand Santa Cruz, and y'all guys until he change his attitude and really try to be the best and try to fight the best. He could start off by fighting Gary Russell. But I don't like that dude, man, for real. Carl Frampton can salvage it for me. He putting together a good resume. But, I like what he brings to the table. But Santa Cruz is just a whole different type of cat. I think he's everything what's wrong with boxing, But, Oscar Valdez, that's my real Mexican compadre right there, man. Oh boy, he's sick with it. I like what he brings, Being with Top Rank, it was holding him back in the beginning. But I think it was a blessing in disguise because he was able to get it together. He had a tough fight versus Quigg, who came in massively overweight. And then I don't think he even had to do a same day weigh-in, missing weight as much as he did. Said it was a foot injury. And Valdez reconstructed his face, but he had his jaw wired as well. And I seen somebody in one of the posts saying I think Valdez deserves a fight or two before he fight Frampton. I definitely agree. To heal up, I think he's gonna take a time off. Let the jaw completely heal. Fight somebody of lesser competition, and then do it again for reassurance versus a little bit more of a step up. And I think by sometime in 2019, him and Frampton can fight. But like I said, them featherweights are starting to heat up because they starting to fight each other. Leo Santa Cruz and Mares, can I live without that fight? Absolutely. I'd like to see Santa Cruz try something different. As far as Lee Selby. I understand he fight Josh Warrington. I like to see him fight Lee Selby. I like to see him, fight call out Rigondeaux at this point. Just face your demons. I mean, he coming off a LL and he a little bit mentally shot. Or, fight Gary Russell after the JoJo Diaz if he gets past JoJo Diaz. May 19th, like he said, he told you guys on the live stream we did. If you missed it, he came on there briefly with us. I caught him at the Barclays Center. It was the Charlo reaction knocking out Hugo Centennial Jr., and I mess with Gary Russell. Even though he lost to Lomachenko, I picked Lomachenko to win because I didn't think Gary Russell had the names, on his resume at that point. But, he's definitely moving in the right direction right now. And he's sick. He's sick with it. But, Valdez is another guy that's sick with it. Valdez, Russell, in no particular order, and Lee Selby, my three, my three favorite featherweights. But I think Valdez and Frampton, to get to the gist of it, that got the makings for an excellent fight. Valdez has been going to war in quite some fights with some, mid-level opposition. The Quigg fight wasn't his fault. Quigg didn't make weight, but he still handled his shit like a G. But that power that he possesses, I think he might be a little bit too powerful for Frampton. Frampton, he a little chinny, but he can box, he can move, he pretty strong as well. But I just think Valdez is physically a little bit more dominant than Frampton, and Frampton really gonna have to finesse his way to beat Valdez. But Valdez been in quite a few wars, so it kind of evened it up. I don't think Frampton has taken the punishment that Valdez has, and I know Valdez is younger, but Valdez is an explosive fighter. I think for him that the next step of improvement and going to the next top tier level and really rushing to be a pound for pound fighter for him is is becoming more defensive responsible, learning when to bang and not to bang, and kind of taking a step back for longevity and shelf life. Learn a little defense. He has the ability to bend at the waist and and slip punches and his feet to get him out of danger. He just got to know when to bang and when not to bang. It's getting at a critical point, especially after the Quigg fight. He suffered a lot of punishment. And then the other fight he had on ESPN versus the other guy, Genesis, whatever that, Genesi, I can't remember that guy's name. It's time for him to start to learn to be a little bit more defensive cautious and learn when to attack and pick his spots when to be offensive. I think that's the next maturity level for him. You know, a little bit more patience, you know, picking his shots. But everything else, offense, firepower, speed, power, athletic ability, explosiveness, he checks out with. And Frampton, you know, he's an athlete as well, too. He's powerful, he's quick, he's strong, he can box. This has the makings to be a great, great fight. You know, wherever they want to have it at, I definitely would tune in and support these two fights because this is the best fight in the best. Like I said, I have a gripe with Frampton, but guess what? I still like his style. I still like him as a boxer. But he ain't at the point of no return like Leo Santa Cruz, you know, on my shit list. But, you know, Valdez is one of my favorite fighters. I said it again, and I keep saying it again. He's one of the most talented fighters right now. He's my favorite Mexican fighter, you know, with Juan Estrada. You know, both of those guys were sick, and I must salute. And, you know, Frampton, you know, he doing his thing for Belfast and Ireland. And I definitely got to see how Valdez comes back in from a jaw injury before I can give you a definitive answer or think about who I think will win. But we gone.